Monthly Box. Boy, do we have the box for you. Here at Monthly Box, we have a box for everything.
Forbes magazine said the monthly box club business is estimated to go over $5 billion this year. Get in off the sidelines.
We don't care if you're tall, short, fat, or Jewish, we have a box for you. Tell us what you are into and get a monthly box.
There's something for everyone.
Monthly drug box, cat box, car box, Alabama hot box.
The rock box. This contains items curated for you by Dwayne Johnson himself.
Crayon box, wet box, dry box, your mom's box.
The hipster box, aka the raw organic cube.
Wet socks box, dirty Sanchez box, smallpox box.
Found porn box. Like when you were a kid, but you don't have to scavenge the woods.
Alcoholics box, sand box, cereal box.
And for those who can't decide, the indecisiveness box.
So log on today to monthlybox.com and get a box sent to you.
Yeah, so I was a little bit late on hitting the record. We're doing a cold open in a way here, right?
What?
Yeah. But you're talking about comedy and like how you like each different brand and like you feel like comedy is like a fingerprint. And you're saying some really interesting things. I thought it'd be, a good way to cold open Road Soda episode 130.
Are you meaning to tell me that we've been recording this whole fucking time? Hello and thank you for snapping into a Road Soda, brother.
Yeah.
The only podcast that will make you a moon will turn you into a moon. A moon-eyed Chinaman that has coronavirus. Do you think that's a pretty bad racial slur?
I do think that Chinaman is probably not appropriate. You wanted like
the moon-eyed thing is pretty. I actually didn't even have that written. It just came out. On this episode, we give you the down low with the kung flu. The kids are flinging poo.
Mm-hmm.
And we do the shower thoughts too. I've been feeling very rhymey.
That was really, really good.
It's been getting rhymey out here. So, yeah, we got some shower thoughts. We got some people popping in on the shower thoughts. Of course, you guys can always write into the show. roadsodamail@gmail.com. What do you think? What are you thinking about right now?
Mm-hmm.
When we say something that triggers you or affects you, send it in. You can, and if you can't type, good. You can call in 706, and the next numbers after the 706 are 200-1213. So you can call in. We have our friend Grant. He likes to phone in, and he actually said something in an email. I want to read this email real quick because it's kind of important. He let me know this. Do you remember one time when he called and he started with saying your voicemail is weird?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what he was talking about. And it wasn't until he explained it, right? I would have no idea because I'm not on that side, but he then get it. He says, your voicemail is weird. I can't leave a voicemail from the same phone number until you listen to it or clear it out. I'm having to call from multiple numbers if I want to have more than one. So he's got to use his burner phone, his Road Soda phone, and his home phone.
Mm-hmm. Cell phone, work phone, pay phone.
Yeah, pay phone to get his whole story out. I didn't know that. So maybe this isn't the best. I had no idea, Mr. Grant, that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just kind of like this is the first time we're doing it. So yeah, I think it's when I listen to it because I save all your messages. I can go back. So I think it's just when I listen to them. So maybe what I can do to help out is I get in the habit of listening to them right when you send them.
Yeah, and then revisiting them.
them. I mean, there is this sense of like surprise that I love when we listen to it together. But if it's helping you,
is there a way that to export those as like MP3s? Because we could always just splice them right into the episode.
That would be, yeah. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it. There's probably a way. Worst case, we could just record it right into a microphone or something, kind of like how we do. But here is last week's what he called it in about. I don't know what it is. I haven't listened to it yet.
It's Grant. Calling in about last weekend, this week's game. A tone Really thought it would be up my alley. Never once was I able to win at any of the duels, I guess it is. I probably spent 3 hours on the game. A lot of the puzzles were vague that there was a puzzle there. I ended up going into story mode since I never won a duel, which meant I couldn't go back and try again on some of the puzzles. Kind of a disappointment. But what can you do? I also tried a game called Overland. Didn't like it. Controls were clunky. What the golf? A lot of fun. I am not a golf person. Would never choose a golf game. It was funny how they kept flipping things up. Like sometimes you're throwing the actual golfer. Sometimes you're throwing the flag. Sometimes it's the arrow that points the direction. It was a lot of fun. But I think not really a binge game for me. Play it while you poop. Pretty solidly there.
Yeah.
Good luck with this week's episode. Talk to you later. Bye.
He's so right. He said, put it right in there pretty solidly.
Yep. And you know what, Grant, since you always listen, and since I know you like metal, I have to look this up real quick because I can't remember exactly what it's called. It is called Immortal. You know, there's a metal band. This is the Music Minute with Justin Mitchell. There's a metal band called Lorna Shore, Lorna Shore. They came out with a new album called Immortal. It is so good. It is such a good heavy metal album. And I know he likes death metal.
Yeah. He's into it.
And so this is more like, I guess, deathcore because it has like the breakdowns, like the halftime breakdowns and stuff. But I still think, Grant, listen to it. Let me know what you think.
Let me know what you think, brother. And I think he might have also February 24th. I think that's between the last week's episode because I didn't listen to anything last week. So this is also Mr. Grant.
So this is Grant. And I was listening to the last episode, and I got a little confused. I want to know, how come Hank Hill is trying to persuade Fred Claus to come for Christmas? Is that Millennium Book Club? I don't get it. Thanks. Bye.
Huh. Hank Hill
is
trying to persuade Fred Claus.
Here's the thing. I'm disappointed in myself because Hank Hill is one of my favorite shows, and I can't think of or King of the Hill is one of my favorite shows.
Dang it, Dale.
Yeah, and I can't.
Maybe
think
what
of
was
this.
the Millennial Book Club?
Umbrella Corporation. Hank Hill.
Now we're like really trying to dig deep.
All right,
because I didn't do a Millennial Book Club on the last week's episode, and it's got to be the 2 weeks ago when was it Umbrella Corporation before?
Yeah,
is trying to persuade Hank Hill. Fred Claus to come for Christmas. I don't get it. Uh-oh. I'm no, we got
Sorry, Grant.
Sorry, Grant, man. Sorry. I'm not following on that one, but either way, we're just absolutely #blessed that y'all like to type in, like to call into the show. You could call in 706-200-1213. Let us know what you think. We're just blessed. #blessed.
Yeah. Hey, I also just want to say that we're trying out a new setup. So if the sound is a little weird, or if maybe the volume is off in some places, I don't think it's going to be the case. But I'm just giving you a heads up. We're trying some new microphones, trying a little bit different setup.
This is all.
Hopefully, it sounds better. But if not, just let us know.
Judging by what we are listening to in the playback, why we are kind of doing this. It is much better. This is Justin. We're at Justin's little studio. This place is like soundproofed. We are using his equipment. He's got some microphones. This is
It's a good dad rig.
This is he's really rigged this shit.
Yeah. So actually, when I was out at NAMM, I got to meet these two guys. Thank you, Sean, if you're ever listening. He introduced me to them, and they make video game music. Oh, wow. And they did the soundtrack for the Borderlands games. For Crackdown. They also did the soundtrack for the Halo remaster.
What?
They got Steve Vai to play guitar on the Halo remaster. And so I'm not trying to like name drop. I'm just really saying, cool. Trying to build up like the level that these guys are at. And because it's a part of the joke, you have to understand that they are professionals. And Sean has a pretty respectable studio. That's actually why I don't invest too much in my recording gear, because I can always go to Sean's and it's very good equipment.
Right.
but to them it's like a joke, right?
Yeah.
And so they were like, "Hey Sean, what do you have?" And I don't remember what it is. He's like, "Oh, I got the the UA 182.4, and I've got these 2 EQs and like whatever." He like name drops all his gear, and Brian just goes, "Oh, so like a dad rig."
Dude,
and it's
he
so
knew it.
funny because like Sean has like a really good studio, but to them it's a joke, you
It
know?
is. This is a really good dad rig, whereas mine
Yeah.
is like a bum rig.
Right.
And-
But yeah, I sound treated my whole room. I've got
Yeah.
foam in the corners, and I actually built with stone wool, like apartment insulation. It's like the type of stuff you try to sound like dampen the sound between walls with.
yeah.
And I built these frames and then wrapped them with fabric from Joann Fabrics and hung them on my wall, so they absorb a lot of frequencies, so that there's not so much reverb. So yeah, I think
It's-
that
It
it's cool.
sounds really great in here. The mic's really great. You're using Logic. Everything is fucking. This is going to be the best sounding episode that we've ever had, as well as and it's funny. I mean, that's it.
Yeah, I think that is it.
It's not
welcome,
funny.
Welcome
It's-
to 130.
Welcome to 130, everybody.
This episode of Road Soda is brought to you by BuyMoodland.net.
Hi, I'm Larry Bird. Due to a government loophole, I now own half the moon. All of the front part. The Chinese own the rest. What am I gonna do with a whole half a moon? That's why I'm selling it to you by the acre. That's right, Moonland. It's an investment. You can till it, develop it. Why don't you start a garden? Some folks like to lease their moonland. The Indians used to think we were stupid to own land. Boom, boom, pow, wow, can't own land. But now who's stupid? Not you. And you gotta stay that way by purchasing moonland at $1,500 per acre. I know what you're thinking. Larry, only $1,500? Are you sure you're not stupid? I'm not. I just want to make sure you don't disappoint your kids by leaving them with something useless, like heirloom jewelry. Don't disappoint your kids. Buy the most luxurious space property in space. www.buymoonland.net. Buy some moonland today.
When the news is your news, it's the news in the sky. It's the news.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I wrote that. This one says bizarre pecking incident. And I'm going to
Okay.
turn this for you so you can see this too. As this opens up, woodpecker dies in bizarre pecking accident. What is this? How do I get? I hate. Allow ads, just fine. Have ads. Please go away from me forever.
Damn, you're gonna have to actually disable.
You know what
ads
I'm gonna
and
do?
refresh.
You know what I'm going to do? Everybody, talk amongst yourselves. Here, I have a
Here's
question.
the thing about the
Tell me
news.
about this
Mhm.
woodpecker. What do you think happened with this woodpecker?
So, it died in a bizarre pecking accident.
Which is
Here's what I'm gonna assume:
Isn't that kind of bizarre without even
it pecked something it wasn't supposed to.
right? Like
And
a bomb?
I want to believe that. Sorry, I want to believe that it pecked a transformer
Right.
and just shut down a whole city block, and also died in the process. Exploded.
Oh, look what I did. I beat it. You know how I beat it crow. Yeah, and it took out a whole city block. And that pesky woodpecker.
That's what I'm hoping.
There's a video. It's playing. Look. So it is pecking a tree. That's pretty normal. A woodpecker in Alabama just accomplished something most experts considered impossible. It killed itself while pecking.
Shit, is it gonna break its own neck?
I don't know. Hold on. That's sort of like a goldfish drowning or a possum suffering food poisoning from eating garbage. A sad photo showing the red-billed woodpecker's bizarre final moments were posted on Facebook over the weekend. Alabama. I don't think this video is going to show the woodpecker. That's just showing what they do. Weekend by Alabama Wildlife under the headline Wildlife Predicaments. I want to see this picture now. Don't you? Are you interested?
Yeah, scroll down. Let's see if we can find it.
I think they want us to go to the link on Facebook. Oh my God, what's happening here? It's just
Oh my god! It had its beak stuck in a pecan or pecan.
oh my God, yeah. Holy shit. It pecked into a pecan and that was it. Pecan. What is it? Pecan or pecan?
I like to say pecan because I know that it bothers people.
my God.
So
You were like, yeah, because I've heard about how woodpeckers, their bill is connected to a bone that wraps down and under their skull and up to the back. So it's like the strut of a truck. So when it presses, all that force is absorbed into their head. You probably knew that.
I did
because
not actually.
You know everything about birds.
I do know a lot about birds, but I didn't know that about woodpeckers. That's pretty cool. That makes sense.
He's the bird man. Boom, 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 boom. He's the bird man. Boom, 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 boom. They called the shit poop. That's the next. That's
your title for it?
That's my title.
I wish it was the actual headline.
Me too. And if you know what it is, then you know what it is. If you heard, but that's the word. Ready? This is dog poop prank leads to road rage. Attack on innocent teens, California police say.
Oh my God.
And then I said, they called the shit poop.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah. The Adam Sandler bit, right?
It is. Police in Northern California say 4 teenagers were injured. 2 of them seriously. Just wanted to light some shit on fire. I didn't think my friends would die. When a driver enraged by damage done to his car during a prank, struck an innocent group of pedestrians he wrongly believed.
So he incorrectly he killed the wrong people. That's fucking crazy.
That is the best case scenario. I'm so sorry. That's exactly what you want with a prank. That's the prank. That's what you do with pranks is you not only do you pull the prank and you trick them, but if you can trick them and make them think it was someone else so you can watch them get mad at a person that doesn't even fucking know.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Hey, if you want to know something, I don't know if I should share this.
I want to hear it. You should definitely share it. No, don't.
This is something I did when I was, I want to say 19.
Okay, I'm listening.
Maybe it was 18. It's when I was living in Albany, New York, and I was flying back and forth from here and there. And
what'd you do?
I was at the airport.
Okay.
And I found a phone.
What'd you do to a phone?
Well, I saw that this guy had pictures of someone's breasts.
Uh-oh.
In his photos.
And I
just texted it to a handful of random people.
Oh my God.
And I think it might have been his girlfriend's breast or something. I don't know why I did it. It was
terrible. Oh my God.
So,
dude, that must be a weight off your chest.
And then I just put the phone back, and the best part was, or the worst part,
oh my God,
is I sat pretty far away and just watched the phone, and I saw how the dude was Darth Vader walking back to his phone. So I think somehow he knew. I don't think it was not the walk of a man who just lost his phone. It was the walk of a man who's like,
what is going on?
Man, and honestly, listeners, I don't think it's
that is so out of your character.
I don't think it's great. Yeah, I was really young.
That's what an evil genius does when they're like a little kid and they don't understand emotional ramifications yet. Like you get the brilliant genius fucking idea to do something, and then you do it, and you can't, dude. You were young. You just didn't know.
It was a very dumb thing.
But I still.
It is honestly it was terrible, but it's really funny to think of the chaos that I may have caused.
See, one time I went to
and honestly now I just want to say as an adult now, I think what I don't like is that it wasn't fair to the woman.
It wasn't fair. You're right.
That's what's fucked up.
It wasn't fair.
It wasn't fair to her to send those. It wasn't a prank on the guy. It also and so that's actually what I feel bad about. If it had been a picture of his dick, I honestly wouldn't feel bad.
Right. Feel a little different.
No, I still would have felt bad.
Because you're
I don't know. Anyway,
you're going in there and you don't know what.
Lizard Lift is the Uber of lot lizards. Easily find and match with truck stop ladies in your immediate area. Lizard Lift takes the guesswork out of the hunt. Stop accidentally soliciting Blimpie's employees on their smoke break.
I've been a truck driver 27 years, and I still can't always tell an Arby's waitress from a truck stop whore. When I roll into an Oklahoma City pilot station, 3 in the morning, last thing I want is a large Mountain Dew thrown at me.
And now you can test your skills with the new in-app game, Lizard Wizard. Lizards are always slithering and on the move. Catch them all to collect points and rewards. And you'll feel safe knowing all you'll catch is a good time. All lot lizards are rated and inspected with fixed fares and complete coverage from Pimpsurance.
Everyone wins with Lizard Lift.
And let's just do it, man. Let's talk about this virus because it's the season.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is really, I work in an office, and I'm sure you work in an office, and I'm sure you've heard people talking about it.
Oh yeah, it was big news in the office whenever we had the first confirmed case in Sarasota, Florida this week.
Yeah. And was it confirmed? There was just, I think that's the funny part is I think the person had been tested and the test hadn't come back yet, but they're like, we're pretty sure.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know for sure. As a matter of fact, this is going to be an interesting conversation, mainly because I don't think I know anything about this.
Okay.
You know?
What's that? Yeah.
Like, I know that I've seen some headlines and I've seen some Reddit posts and people at work are talking about it, but I haven't really done a lot of research into it. So it's also interesting that because of the way by which I'm getting my information about this, I don't know if any of it's true.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, because there's this extra layer of work that you got to do.
Yeah, exactly. And I haven't had that time.
Or you find like if you're lucky, you can get a person that you trust.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I trust you. You did your work, you know? I've been getting all of sorry man, this nose stuff thing is crazy. So I have been getting all of
Are you allergic to cats?
Yeah.
Damn.
But I'm not like, it was a little stuffy earlier today, and then on the way over it kind of like cleared up.
Damn, Isaiah's such a great guy, ladies and gentlemen, because I just found out he's allergic to cats. And do you know he is so nice to my cats and dog every time he comes over here? And he's fucking allergic. Wow.
I grew up with cats, man. My mom was like, fuck your allergies.
Right.
I think everyone in the family was allergic to cats. We're having cats.
Yeah.
Right. So
you tell me,
let me tell you,
as someone who's like, let's just pretend I've never even heard of the coronavirus.
Right.
What is it? Is it a threat? What's going on?
Okay, I gotta start by saying that I've got all my news, like all the information that I have, and basically this entire segment that I want to do now is basically all the information comes from Mysterious Universe. Fucking Benjamin Grundy and Adam Wright,
right?
The two hosts. They've been very kind. Generally, I mean, as a lot of people know, like that is probably my number one podcast that I listen to. I love those guys. I love their view on that sort of thing. They're kind of skeptical about it, but they also don't typically do news, and so but they've been kind of riding this particular wave and putting things out about it, and it's really, really interesting stuff. And then hearing what they're saying and what they're bringing to the table and expressing, and then what you see on, like, when I go search for our news for our show, and I'm on Twitter and I'm looking at Suncoast, and they're like posting things about the virus, and so I'm seeing like an actual news outlet, and then these guys that are like digging it up or finding it from certain places and like really interesting shit. It is so to explain it, I guess it's a cold-like virus that has, and this is like what the news outlets is so it's a virus that was bred in what they call wet markets, that are types of markets that it's so ridiculous. So first of all, there's an emerging middle class in China, right? the emerging middle class then leads to more people going to wet markets, because wet markets offer really exotic foods, and you are like only people with wealth can do that. So it's like this leads to this, right? And then you have, so the wet market is exotic foods like snakes and bats, and they're all living close quarters, and they're on these dark, dusty streets. You've seen Anthony Bourdain, right? You go out back, and there's got a fucking bat, and it's sitting next to a fucking frog.
Scorpions on a stick and shit.
Yeah, but this is like they're live, and they're all in cages, and they're pissing and eating, and they're like, this happened for long enough, and one of them's got a fucking the flu, and the other one's got a fucking butt virus, and then their poop mixes together, and then that rat eats that poop, and it does that millions of times, and then eventually a new virus is born, right?
So if the game Plague Inc. has taught me anything, because I've played that like probably 100 hours. It's probably my favorite mobile game of all time.
What's it called?
Plague Inc.
Plague Inc. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, you design a virus.
Design it.
I want to say that I started playing it. Man, I still worked. No, I didn't work at the guitar store. Did I? Man, it could have been 5 years ago. And they keep releasing updates for it, and there are different types of like viruses that you have to spread. And your goal is to kill the entire population of the planet.
Oh, cool.
And one of the ways you can do it is by transferring it to birds or livestock or rats. Those are the three.
Yep.
And you can make it airborne so that it can start, and all this kind of stuff.
Wait,
and then
let me get my pen and paper. Keep going.
What your goal is, and I advise the coronavirus to do this if it's not already, is to be as infectious as possible with no symptoms. That way no one knows they have it, and then you develop the symptoms later. So right now, just be the cold, and I highly recommend that you mutate later. Maybe go back to animals, then back to people again if you really want to do some damage.
Yeah. Well, hey, man.
Yeah. Plague Inc.
I think the government's been playing that game. It's not a government.
That's my favorite conspiracy theory about this, is that it's like actual warfare.
It is. So here's really, really interesting things to think about. So first, that's the story everyone knows. It's like the wet market, same place where SARS came from, which even that was arguable. The last SARS outbreak in 2008. That was not, and when I say arguable, it's suspect. Like when you are saying that you need these rats and these birds and these bats all hanging out next to each other, shitting in these back alleys to create a virus,
which is so terrible.
It is terrible, but I'm not a biologist or anything, but I'm pretty sure that needs the amount that needs to actually happen to create a virus is like, what are the odds? Like it's got to, or how long it's got to be going on? It's got to be.
That's the thing, like, Isaiah. You're thinking like a fucking sheep, bro. Okay, listen here. Here's what they did. They developed it in a lab,
right? And
then they gave it to a rat at that market. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. It was lab created. Yeah, the government has taken over.
Well, here's some really interesting things. A few weeks before, there were, or right around the same time, there were China scientists working in Canada, and they got fired. They had to get let go from their research facility because they were sending samples back to China.
Oh,
like
no.
really illegal China, like really illegal shit.
No way.
Yeah. And
wait, all right, Isaiah, are you believe this happened?
Yeah, that's real.
Wow.
That's not fake.
All right.
Everything I'm going to tell you is not a fake thing.
I'm in on this.
Everything I'm telling you right now is not a fake thing. So the other thing is, and then there was also, Wuhan has one of like 2 or 3 labs in the world that do this specific type of viral research, and it's only a few years old. And there was an ad that they had in news. This is almost, if you want to draw the picture of coincidence, like first there needs to be emerging class, second there needs to be all these wet markets, and they got to be around for a long time. There was that is all right. I see your line of thought, right? That but there was an ad that they took out in the newspaper a week before the outbreak started, where they were looking for a person, a researcher It wasn't like in a newspaper. It was like some magazine or some shit. Like they were specifically looking for a researcher to research almost specifically what the coronavirus did to jump from. It was like because what it is, it's basically like because Aaron Wright is I believe he is a doctor in molecular biology. So when he talks about this, like that's one of the reasons why they're like, oh, we'll actually talk about it and have some.
Sure. Yeah, because he actually knows who he's talking about.
Really knows what he's talking about, and he explained how the basically what it's a regular type of some kind of virus, but it is in a way combined with something. I'm fucking botching it up. It's got these where it's able to inject. I don't know. I'm not even going to try to attempt that I can explain it.
That's okay.
Real loose shit. I'm not even going to fucking pretend. And but the thing is, they did take out an ad in a newspaper, and then it was immediately pulled like shortly after this whole thing. Of course, it was pulled. Some guy found it. He got in trouble for like finding it and like bringing it up. And there's just so there is a what you were talking about. Make it lay dormant as long as possible. One of the other reasons why there's a lot of people that believe it's engineered, and there's also actually been people who research in these fields, like specific, like weaponizing these kind of things that have come out and said like we believe, or I believe it's more likely that it's weaponized. It's a weapon. It's not. Now I'm not saying that they used it as a weapon to hurt people. Because what it comes down to is they modified it, but they think that it either accidentally got out or the U.S. knew they were doing it and sent someone over there, and then they just let it out right there in Wuhan, right?
Here's the thing. I've been playing Resident Evil 2 recently, the remake for the PlayStation 4. And I've done it because Resident Evil 3 is coming out. The remake is coming out April 4th, I think. So I'm really excited, been really into this. And I'm telling you, that's how the zombies happen.
Right.
There was some fucked up shit. They were doing genetic modifications and creating these viruses, trying to create a super soldier. It got out, made everybody real sick, turned into zombies. I'm just saying.
Just saying, man. And the amount of art mimicking reality. There was a Dean Koontz book that was written like fucking 10 years ago, where a viral outbreak happened in Wuhan, China, that like took over the fucking.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just spoke really loudly into the mic.
No, dude, that's what you're supposed to do.
That was just a genuine moment of like, no way. It was like The Simpsons predicting things.
Yeah, it really is fucking crazy. And it's so that's what they think that it's, and also the reason they're thinking it is weaponized is because the gestation period is 2 weeks, so it's almost impossible to track it. Like when they sit down and the military discusses, like, if we needed to make something that was gonna, like a biological warfare, that we're not allowed to do, there's a treaty, we can't do it. But if we did, you'd want to make it lay dormant as long as possible, because then it's impossible to contain, because you don't know how long. Who have you contacted in 2 weeks? Name every fucking person you've contacted.
You.
You know, like it's, and then of course make it airborne, which it is. There's so many little things about it, and then there was the numbers that the CDP or whatever, the China,
like their version of the CDC, the Center for Disease Control.
It's like the People's Republic of China, whatever the fuck it is, whatever it is, their government. The numbers that they're putting out for like how many people are hurt versus like how many people are infected,
right?
Versus how many people have died and all that kind of stuff. They mimic perfectly, to almost no deviation, what a simulation would run. So they have like an algorithm to run like to run a simulation.
Yeah, I know. I told you I played it.
It's exactly that. Well, they do that, and it's so close. It's so close to that it has to be. They have to be giving simulation numbers, which So they're like, you guys are giving us fake numbers. You're just giving us which means your numbers are much different than what you're giving us, because you're just running the simulation and giving us those numbers. There would be a deviation in reality. It's too close. It's too perfect. And like the chances of it being so perfect to the algorithm it's like impossible, right? So they oh shit, where was that line of thought going? Oh yeah, and then there was a news station or whatever that was putting out some news about the people who's sick versus died, and they released numbers that like look real, and then like a little while later, like it was like it was like an accident. They took it down, and then it was like drastically lower.
Mm-hmm.
But it is definitely a hysteria in China, and there has been. I'm just giving you every little bit of.
You know, I just want to say real quickly, I did see an extremely disturbing video.
Yeah,
and I don't know if it's real or not. But so picture an ice cream truck, but there are no windows. Pulls up. These two people in hazmat suits get out, and they do something to this couple, this man and woman that are walking down the street. And all of a sudden you can tell, like, the person is filming it from an apartment window, by the way. So all of a sudden you can tell that these two people in hazmat suits are kind of having an altercation with this couple, this man and woman. And eventually they get physical, and they use their hands to take the man and woman to this ice cream truck. This ice cream truck is silver, made of metal, like thick metal, and no windows.
Like a Brinks truck.
And the woman is screaming. Yes, exactly. This woman is screaming and crying. And when they put her in, she keeps screaming and crying. And literally like 7 seconds after they put her in there, it's like dead silent. It was like,
what was that?
What happened?
One soundproof
Nobody
trailer.
goes from hysterical to just dead silent. You know, you would hear it taper off in some way, you know, like maybe not. But it was a very disturbing video, and I like to believe that it's real.
So you want to get some more disturbing info?
I would love to be disturbed.
There are lots of videos of people in China where we're sending out videos. So you know they have their own internal internet. They're not allowed to like put stuff on our internet and stuff. Well, some of them are. And these videos, it's hard to know if it's real or not, but there's a lot of different videos of people being like nailed shut in their houses or their apartment doors being welded shut. You're not allowed to leave.
It's crazy. Yeah, man, because like right now there's so many things going on with China with them, and I'm so sorry that I can't pronounce it. I just have to admit that the Yuhin, or like, you know, like these like
Wuhan?
No. This is a non sequitur sort of, but China developed like that social credit system that they're testing out in some of their provinces or whatever it is that they call their states, you know. Okay. And there's like a branch of like Muslim faith Chinese people, and I think they're called it's like UGHEN or something like that. Anyhow, there's a story of this kid who went back over there from college, and he was a part of this group, and he got flagged. His social credit got flagged. He wasn't allowed to use public transportation. He couldn't get on the airport to come back to the United States. So anyways, they're without the concentration camps or internment camps, they're doing what like what we did to the Japanese people, you know, where they're like with the internment camps in World War II. It's obviously not as bad as the Holocaust because they're not slaughtering them, but yet. But it's weird. And then the other thing I've been seeing is that they've been putting what they believe to be infected people in like these big camps.
Right.
What I've been wondering is, like, do you think this is an elaborate organ harvesting ruse?
I mean, if we want to...
If they're putting Muslims in camps...
I think it's...
And they're putting, like, infected people in camps?
I don't know. Organ harvest, like...
Oh, maybe it's a climate... Maybe they're going to come out and spin this. You know what a pivot is, right? Like a company does one thing, they pivot, do another thing. Maybe they're going to pivot this as a climate change activism, like an act of activism where they're saying, like, oh, overpopulation is an issue. We're taking care of it. We're doing the Thanos snap.
And we're taking out 50% because it's in the past couple of days, because, you know, the satellites that monitor the pollution just on the planet, they're at all-time record lows over China. Like, it's the clearest the air's ever been because everyone's stuck inside, except for one certain chemical. And it's not a chemical, it's one certain element, like it's fucking Well, it turns out you're the only kid that ever shows up. You know, I really hate you. I'm over it.
Yeah.
But,
well, I think that what might help you is to know that I'm not actually a kid.
What?
I look young, and
Okay.
my beard is patchy. I still have acne. I'm actually 37.
What? I'm 36.
Wow, that's great. So, I mean, did you go to high school around here or no?
Yeah,
All right.
I did.
Well, I didn't. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So that's why I don't know you.
This is why I don't have friends.
What were we playing this week?
We were playing What the Golf.
What the Golf is the only way we know how to communicate with each other is through video game. So every time I turned on Reddit and we or went onto the arcade, people were always talking about What the Golf because so many people are jumping on the arcade and like the arcade subreddit, and they're like, I'm brand new to the arcade. What should I play? The first one's always What the Golf. So I broke down, I played it, and yeah,
I got to start with my experience.
I want to
first.
give you,
All right,
I want that.
Here's the thing. I downloaded this game and I started playing it and I hated it. And then I saw all this bullshit. There were all these microtransactions. I was like, the arcade's not supposed to have those. I downloaded the wrong game.
Oh, you did?
And hated it and played it for an hour. Then I downloaded What the Golf.
What did you download?
I don't know. I typed in What the Golf last time we were doing the podcast. I just fucking hit download. And,
I just downloaded it.
But anyways.
I spent $30.
No. I didn't spend any money, thankfully. But so anyhow, I downloaded What the Golf, and I'm just gonna put it up front. Play it while you poo, but like I mean that. Like this is the pinnacle of play it while you poo, and I hope that people understand that the tier
the pinnacle.
If it makes it to play it while you poo, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily a worse game than binge it. It just means that the attention that it takes and the time investment that it takes, right?
Exactly.
So this is so much fun because you start off and there's a really simple mechanic of swiping,
right?
And you're playing golf. And then all of a sudden you try to go and your club gets thrown.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is happening?
After you golf really one time.
It's like miniature golf for maybe a few holes, maybe one, maybe three.
I think after the first one, I think you never again really golf.
Yeah, you just start like throwing cats around or like trying to like chop down trees by throwing an axe, like all this weird stuff, you know? I think I just made that last one up, but that gives you an idea of what the premise is.
It wouldn't put it past it.
Yeah, there's my favorite level so far, because I've played for quite a bit, but my favorite level.
What percent are you on? What percent?
I don't know actually. I'll pull
what
it
percent,
up.
dog? I think I would probably be more than you because if you download it, you played for like a week, the wrong one, or you played for a few days, the wrong one, whatever it was.
I'm not very far. I played it for a good amount of time, but I think I'm trying to make sure I get the gold crown. Like all
for
three.
every single one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I've only completed maybe 20 levels. Maybe
if you quit out and you go back in, there's a percentage and it'll tell you. I'm at 53%, and everything I've gotten up to that point, all gold crowns, baby.
That's what I want to do. But so what I was saying is
move on till I get that gold crown.
Even though I've played like maybe 15 or 20 levels, my favorite so far is when you were throwing the couch. Yeah. I was like, that's awesome because the physics of the couch just suck. It's like a frustrating level, and it's like, this is fun though.
It is frustrating. Some of them get really fucking hard. And some of them make you really think. Like at first, the first few levels, I'm like, I'm moving through this too easy. And then I realized, you can go into each level 3 times. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You can go in, you beat it once, and then there's the par. So you got to do it par for that course. Like you get it in 2 strokes.
Yep.
And then there's the crown, which is the
challenge.
wacky challenge one. And so then I realized that. So I went back and gathered them all up, but some of them get really hard and I'm like, I can't do this.
You know, this game is going to go right alongside Grindstone for a very specific purpose. So sometimes at work I have to use Python to write an automated process. So I'm trying to tell this program that I use for work for data analysis and mapping and all this kind of visual, like 3D visualizations and stuff. I tell it to run a task, and a lot of times it's just iterators, meaning that it's just going to run this task X amount of times, or it's going to go in this. Let's say there's a conversion that I have to make for a particular file type, and I'm being vague on purpose, so I don't like. I'm already.
So you don't sound like a nerd.
I'm already probably boring people,
but basically,
is that there's a conversion. So you might say, "Hey, look at every file in this folder,
and
do these 3 tasks in this specific order."
That could take a while.
Yeah, but because I automated, it doesn't mean that I'm not working. That's billable
hours, baby.
So then you can just like chill and play What the Golf, which I'm been playing Grindstone still because I'm hooked on it. But
Bro.
Shout out Nelly, I believe. Okay, so I
Yep,
think she gets where it's coming. Mandy, my wife, is also like,
it's addicting,
Yeah.
man.
So anyways, this game is excellent. It's super fun. It's exactly what mobile gaming should be.
Yep.
And I was thrilled with it. I even like it's almost like crappy, weird cartoon art style.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I loved everything about this game.
And you're right when you really hit the nail on the head when you say it's exactly what mobile gaming should be.
Yeah.
So we're not trying to take a game from console and put it on the fucking phone.
Well, whenever I very first got an iPhone, which was not when they first came out, I couldn't afford them. I don't think I got one until like the 4S or the 5. So it would have been like 2012 maybe or something.
That sounds about right.
And one of the first things I did was downloaded Final Fantasy Tactics because it's one of my favorite games of all time. It's basically like a more complicated chess game, right? So there's a board and you can move a piece, and just like in chess, each piece has certain moves that it can do. It can hit further away, or it's got to be right next to it, or it's got to be behind the opponent and backstab and all this stuff. So I downloaded this game on my phone and I went to play it and I was like, this is not what I want to do on my phone.
Yeah.
Like it was a PS1 game, but now a phone can easily play that. So
Yeah.
like, oh, this is great. But it's not what I want out of mobile gaming.
Exactly. You're right. It's because it's too involved to have your hands in the way of the screen, because that's the only way you can play. But that's why, a lot of the games in the arcade, you can actually hook the controller up. And I think also it's almost like you turn your phone itself into a console.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's like the only time when like you could be playing the game Oceanhorn. And I think if you actually have like Apple TV, you can have it playing on your TV and you use a controller, which means this becomes the console.
The console, yeah.
Which is really cool. But if you're talking about mobile gaming, that means you're gaming on the go. You're gaming on the fucking shitter.
Right.
You're gaming
on the
gaming
subway,
as
on the bus.
Exactly. And what the golf I am telling you right now is being played on buses and fucking on buses and subways everywhere. I'm gonna say, yeah, it just like you expressed, it's the pinnacle of play while you fucking poop, because that's all I've been doing. Play it until you get to something that's frustrating. You lose a couple times. Come back the next time you take a shit, you're gonna beat it first try.
Well, and that's why it's good to have games in rotation. You got a little bit of Grindstone, a little bit of that, and honestly, like, I was on Reddit a good amount this week, but usually I try to stay away from Instagram, try to stay away from YouTube, I try to stay away from Reddit.
Right.
Just because for me personally, I don't know if it's like this for everybody, but it's almost like a source of anxiety, and it's like a compulsion, and
and
most
really
of the content that I see is not positive, so I try to stay away from it. But that's where these mobile games come in, because you got a second, you're bored,
dude. Honestly,
these little games instead of scrolling Facebook,
and there is
solve a puzzle.
So there's some people that would look at that and be like, "Oh, you're playing a fucking game," Well,
what's so weird is I have family members, and I have on Mandy's side specifically, who kind of like laugh that I still play video games.
Right.
But it was so funny because the one time I was getting teased for it was because we were visiting with Mandy's family, and one of her cousins is getting married. And I was like, I knew he played games. I was like, hey man, did you ever play Sekiro? Because I was like hooked on that game. It's like a super challenging.
What do you say?
He's like, no, I haven't bought it yet. I was like, you got to try it. It was like, nah man, whatever. Mario, because I can't say the girl's name just in case, but
right.
Mario hates it when I play. And I was like, what are you
doing to yourself, man?
Not only that, but like, what are you talking about? I was like, if you're if you're avoiding your responsibilities as an adult and as like a partner, not like as a man or a woman, but like as a partner, like you're supposed to throw down and like help with dishes. You're supposed to help with laundry.
Right.
You guys are a team.
Yeah.
So if you're fucking up your team duties because you're playing video games, I would be mad too. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like
if you're doing anything.
Yeah. Or if like you're showing up late to work or something, but like for me, it's a hobby and it's fun and it requires problem solving. And the irony, of course, was that I was playing Sekiro at the time, which is like a brutally punishingly difficult game, and it's like, but you guys watch The Bachelor. And to be clear, I'm not making fun of The Bachelor. I get the allure, but I'm just saying that like, what's the difference between sitting there for 3 hours staring at a TV watching The Bachelor versus staying?
There's a big difference. The difference is there's a disparaging difference in level of brain energy being used.
Sure. I mean,
They're just fucking.
We can definitely play devil's advocate and like lobby for video games. But I'm just trying to make a middle ground of like, look,
which
you're basically, and I know this is like straight up nihilist, but like you're just waiting to die in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
And you're trying to like find distractions from your life, or you're trying to find things that give you dopamine and serotonin, you know? So like, that's what we're doing. And so if in this time where you're like, hey, I just want to pass this time doing something that I enjoy that releases these chemicals and distracts me from the world, I'm going to play a video game. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to, do
it's
whatever.
all the same, man.
Yeah.
And I think
go
that
for a walk,
more people should try to prescribe themselves video games, because my father is a very smart man, but in his years since he's been retired, he does little to no problem solving. And I've watched his sharpness become very dull very quick, because all he does all day is he's told stories. He's being led by a leash of like, this is the story. Like, I do a lot of watching TV myself. But I also push myself to problem solve as much as I can, because it makes me feel good. And I also don't want to ever lose it, because then very simple things that we take for granted become very, very difficult. I'm not saying he's like senile by any fucking means. I'm not. It's just, it happens just about all older people, but it's gonna be what happens to you if you just sit around and watch TV all day.
Actually, I know this is the arcade segment. We've deviated a little bit, but I would like to share an interesting story. I grew up pretty poor, as you guys probably know, and I never went to the doctor. Not my whole life. I'm 31, and yesterday, we're recording today on Friday, which you're not supposed to do. That's a no-no, but I just dropped the zip code there. So Thursday, I went to the doctor for the very, very first time and had a physical, and I'm in really good health.
Good.
Which was cool. Like, no heart issues, no lung issues, no reflex issues. My blood work is, good and everything. So, my doctor was like, what brought you in? And I just said, I've never been to the doctor. I'm 31. I thought that I should probably know if I'm going to die. And he's like, okay, so what do you do for a living? And I explained, that I used to be out in the field a lot more doing the wetland restoration. And now I work, I'm a data analyst for a consulting firm. And he's like, okay, check it out. You need a super good mattress, and you need a super good chair, and you need to be meditating 3 to 5 times a week.
Whoa, your fucking doctor told you this shit?
He was like, listen, man, the thing that's going to kill you prematurely is not having enough periods of mindfulness, not being able to manage your stress, and not having a good hobby. And your posture is more important than anything else. And if you don't have a comfortable chair and a desk that you can alternate sitting and standing, he's like, you might as well be smoking cigarettes. And and he prescribed meditation, and it was just, he was
that's so fucking weird.
And he was like, honestly, for someone like you, and this is what was so cool too. I told him I did Brazilian jiu-jitsu and kickboxing. I was like, I train mixed martial arts, and he was like, okay, the jiu-jitsu's fine. Pace yourself. You're over 30 now. Things are going to be different, and but you need to stop doing the kickboxing. He's like, that type of impact and those types of hits, like you don't need to be taking those at your age, and you're gonna find that like higher impact sports. Even though jiu-jitsu is aggressive, it's not impact. It's not impact like that. It's like those higher impact things are going to be worse for you. So
even if you get hit in the body, it still like vibrates up through into your head.
Oh yeah, and like honestly, after like I only spar hard at kickboxing maybe 1 of every 5 classes. I just want to like know I got it. Right. If I were to have to protect myself, I want to know that like I can get in there. But most of the time, it's pretty light sparring. The days after hard sparring feels like in a car accident. But anyways, it was cool. He prescribed meditation, and I just was really refreshed by this doctor. The other thing is, which I wanted to share, was that he goes, hey, do you snore? I'm like, no, I really don't. You can ask Mandy. I just don't snore. And he goes, can you even breathe out of the right side of your nostril? And I was like, actually, I can't. I have to move my face so that I have to pull on my cheek if I want to breathe out of both nostrils. And I went to lean my head up, and I was like, I don't know if you can see it. And without missing a beat, he goes, no, it's extremely visible. Like, I love that he was like,
he's that
super
perceptive.
candid. Well, not only is he that perceptive, but like, I don't want a doctor who's worried about my feelings. He was immediately just like, your nose is fucked. Like because it is. My nose is very crooked from being hit a lot, and
Right.
Sometimes it was actually, just in jujitsu, someone kneed me on accident one time.
I mean, it's been that way as long as I can remember, hasn't it?
Well, I mean, I did martial arts as a kid too.
Right. Yeah.
so,
You also doing a lot of Taibo.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of Taibo. But yeah, my nose has been broken a few times. But anyways, it was just so funny that he was like, "No, it's super visible. Also, you're too old to kickbox." I was like, "This doctor's on a roll,
Damn,
man."
he's like, yeah, he's really killing it.
But yeah, he also talked about having like some sort of hobby that is problem solving is where I'm going. So
Exactly.
meditate,
Problem
mindfulness, and some sort of problem solving, like mentally challenging thing. He's like, that's how you're going to live to 70 without medications. And then he literally goes, after 70, who the fuck knows?
Who the fuck knows? What a guy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to double back real quick. The way I said, I don't think my dad's not dumb. He's still very sharp. He's just not as fast anymore.
Right, he's not as quick.
He's not as quick. It takes him longer to like put together his sentences. All the fucking memory and data is still there, but it's just you can see he's slowing way down. And I think it is from not flexing that brain muscle of problem solving. So yeah, that's what they. Well, fuck yeah, guys. So look to Road Soda. We're keeping you healthy with these video games. And next week, oh wait,
yeah,
next week we're gonna play. Everyone's hanging around. I almost forgot that we were doing this. Next week we're gonna be playing Crossy Road Castle,
which sounds dumb but looks really fun. It looks like a platformer kind of thing.
Yeah, it does. It looks like a new unicorn fucked Mario.
Yes.
Super Mario game. Like it's got that kind of thing. So it does look like there's a little more action to it. It's not just a little problem solving. But as soon as I opened it up, it was like right there in front of our face. So we're going to do that one. Let's see what it says. It says, join the Crossy Road crew in this endlessly spinning cooperative tower climb. Whoa, that sounds crazy. That just shattered my world for what I thought
really
it was.
Did. Yeah, me too.
I did not think that. Bring your friends and see how far you can get in this endless spinning tower of arcade fun. Wow, so maybe it's just like I'm just going to speculate. It's like a randomly generated tower that keeps climbing.
And that it's co-op, right? So
right, yes, you have to use your friends. And wow. Well,
I'm pretty excited about this.
I'm pretty excited about it as well. So guys, tell us what you think about the game we just played, What the Golf, as well as what you think about this next game or suggest a game. Type it out on a computer to roadsoda@gmail.com, or you can call in and leave us a voicemail, and that voicemail is 706-200-1213.
It's wonderful.
1213.
Silicolin is the #1 doctor-recommended stool coagulant. Polymers invented by the world-renowned Dr. Koshi Kolanabe bind the matter in your large intestines so that your movements require virtually no cleanup. Originally developed to treat anal seepage, Silicolin is for anyone who desires spotless underwear and a streak-free toilet bowl. Side effects may include acute anal seepage, upset stomach, bunions, spina bifida, night terrors, night sweats, terror sweats, and a loss of sexual identity. If you are experiencing more than 5 seizures a day, stop use immediately. Leave toilet paper behind. Ask your doctor if Silicolin is right for you. Silicolin, a Popco brand.
Molecule. It's like it's like sulfur something. It's sulfur something. It's exactly what you get when you burn flesh.
Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with it. Not that I,
it's some kind of sulfur carb something, but it's
we've all grabbed something out of the oven and forgot to put our oven mitt on. We all know what it smells like. Right. We know the molecule.
It's the highest it's ever been.
Oh my God.
It's like
what?
It's like triple fold.
Oh my God. It took me a minute because I was in bit mode. I was trying to do a bit and about like the burning flesh, and all I could come up was that bad oven joke. But you're telling me that they might be burning bodies.
Might be is like, I mean, where there's smoke, there's fucking burnt ass bodies.
That's my favorite country song.
Dude,
well, there's smoke. There's burnt ass bodies. Oh,
that is so. That
I'm so sorry that you guys just had to hear me sing. I apologize.
I thought it was beautiful.
Thanks.
Speaking of singing, again, this entire. So not only have I taken all the information about the Wu flu and the China chill from what's you call it?
The Kung Flu is my preferred way. Yeah, that's my preferred way to reference it.
The Kung. That's my new one.
Yeah, I
Let's
wish
talk
I
about
created
old
that.
shit.
I really wish I created
I
that.
created China Chill.
Did you? It's
Yeah,
good.
but it doesn't really work because it's like I don't know. Anyway, so check it out. The Kung Flu out here. Get realistic. I took this all from Mysterious Universe. And what they said, what Benjamin Grundy, he's so fucking great, dude. He's talking about how when it comes with outbreaks and stuff, you get a lot of music. Get a lot of music along with it. And I actually went on Spotify.
Oh, no.
And you can go on Spotify if you type in coronavirus and just put in songs. They're like everyday dudes uploading Spotify songs and all about the coronavirus. But what they did on Mysterious Universe is he had a bunch of YouTube videos that he played. And I just went onto their show notes and I took it. So if anyone ever listens to Mysterious Universe and us, and I'm not even gonna beat around the bush. I straight took it for them. So thank you to them for doing this. But these are all like songs that people are making, and I'll put them in our show notes too, so you guys can watch these videos and you can watch more of them. But they are music about the coronavirus, and yeah, this is all really scary. But at the end of the day, the percentage of the actual death rate percentage that the CDC is predicting or saying is 2%. So, I mean, I think the common flu is like 0.1%. So it's marginally higher. But
if we're able to trust the news that I've been seeing recently, it's basically like 100,000 people are infected, and it's a super low death rate for people under the age of 60. But if China is burning bodies, that's a different story.
Well, they might have jumped on. See, they might know something we don't. First of all,
zombies.
They might know something we don't. They also might be overreacting. They just don't want it to, or they might be trying to do it to take control. Because of the lack of control that they've had with all the riots beforehand.
Right.
Or it really could have been America coming in and shaking up. They're like, we see what you're doing. And they come in and they just let it out in their streets. And,
it won't be the first time that we've destabilized an entire country.
All
right.
Inside out, baby.
What you got for us, Isaiah?
So these are these videos, these will be in the show notes. And they come straight from Mysterious Universe. But they are, here we go. Let's listen to the music that coronavirus is bringing us, okay? And I'm going to try to get this over so.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So it was an Asian man, and he was wearing a mask, and he was just getting down.
And he said, eating snakes and bats for lunch till you find Corona. That's his song. So obviously,
It's wonderful.
That's going to be a common, that's an easy low-hanging fruit on that one. Am I right? That's some low-hanging fruit as far as the...
Yeah, but it was good.
So this one is someone else is doing. I think it's... I got to move this to 30-something seconds so we don't have to listen to this jackass. But again, all will be on there. And let's keep moving along with the great sounds of Corona.
Do not go to China. Don't go
Oh
to
my God.
China. Do not go to China or you'll get corona. Don't go to China. Don't go to China. Do not
Many
go to
people have had the
China.
idea for this song.
Dude, this guy, if you're listening, it's not Adam Sandler. Look at Corona. Adam Sandler's sitting right now with the guitar strumming and a notepad writing the exact same lyric.
That's right.
Then he's going to listen to this podcast and go, God dang it, that obnoxious kid on there. So this is another one. This is Virus Song. There's a good number of them. I think this is fun.
Yeah.
Okay. We got to turn this off.
Oh, yes. By the way, this is a great pop song.
I got a virus from China. Oh, It make me crazy.
All right, here's the deal. I got two things to say. First of all,
this bullshit.
I
That's
you know, it's not like my preferred genre to get down on, but the song that's based on, I don't know who sings it, but it's actually a really excellent like pop song. You know,
Right.
like great.
better than what that guy's doing.
Everything that would be in the formula to make a good pop song. That song has it. Now that being said, that guy, that was kind of funny. I do like his commitment to having a different meme on screen.
Yeah,
every lyric. Yeah,
that makes it really entertaining to watch. So you guys really want to watch the videos. That one is very funny.
I'm also ashamed that I laughed at the when I touched her vagina. I thought that I was above that, but God, it got me.
It's just child enough to work, you know? Like you're like, oh, that's what you'd write if you were in elementary school. But then again, if you can imagine an elementary school kid with enough get up and go to make a whole song, and then
it would be so funny.
Yeah. So this one is the old acoustic. Let's hear what we got for the old acoustic.
And here's a song about a virus, the coronavirus. Another virus making its way overseas. Who's to blame? I think the Chinese. People freaking out. They don't know what to do. The coronavirus is coming for you.
So you get the idea of that guy. At least this guy, he's the first one with his original song.
Which is ironic because that chord progression, I think, is
Oh, you think he probably took it?
No. Give me 1 second. I have to remember. I'm gonna fuck this up, but I think it's 6-4-5-1. 6-4-5-1 is the chord progression that is, and it's thousands of songs, right? It's Hey-O from Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's like Creep by Radiohead. It's like
there's something about it. What was it again? 3, 4, 5, 1?
So I'm pretty sure that it would be 6, which is a minor chord, 4, which is a major chord. It's the relative major of that 6 chord, and then 5, which is a dominant major chord, and that usually like pulls really hard towards like the tonic. Like when you hear a 5 chord in a key, your ear wants to hear the 1 chord, so that's what it does. It goes back to like the major tonic key. So like it's just a really common and really pleasing chord progression.
You know that?
I know it's bad. But anyways,
you know so much about music. You so impressed me.
Actually, yeah. I mean, not dude. Lately, I've been actually pretty humbled. I bought this book for this band called Intervals that I really like, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna learn how to play these songs. And I sat down, I was like, man, I am not as good as I thought I was. I was very humbled. There's some like,
which is funny because what you're probably looking at is probably like really sophisticated shit.
So Intervals, you saw Plenty. You're actually wearing a Plenty shirt. They're very similar. So it's that style of music, you know, and like progressive instrumental metal. And yeah, I was pretty humbled.
Well, I mean, that doesn't mean you can't do it. Just
means,
you're still
gotta grind it. Gotta grind out.
Grinding it, bro. Just
what else you got, Isaiah?
This is the last one. I'm skipping. There's one, but it's all in like Portuguese. So what's the fun in that?
All right.
Or actually, that's why I wanted to play it. I want to see if you think it's also Portuguese, but I've said it so many times, it's probably what you're going to think now, even if it's not. You get the idea.
Yeah,
you get the idea.
I definitely got the idea.
That's that like upbeat, like
yeah.
All right, so this is the last one. This is another, we really want our heavy hitters to come in, our Weird Al Yankovics and whatnot. But
yeah,
this is not Weird Al Yankovic.
All right, okay.
It's that vein where you take this song and you make it this song, right? Here we go.
Hello, virus from Wuhan. Another problem's here again. Because you see the contagion creeping.
That's wonderful.
He says,
"Isn't that Sound of Silence
that
by not Siegfried and Freud?
Yeah, sure.
What the fuck, Simon and Garfunkel? I think. Yeah,
it sure is. And that is there's actually a lot of this stuff, and it's pretty fun listening to this stuff. And we got to have fun with it. Just embrace it because I don't know. What are we gonna do? What can we do? We
yeah.
What are we gonna do? I mean, I guess apparently in Australia, this is also on Mysterious Universe, but then confirmed by an actor, not an actor, a comedian that I follow on Instagram. But it's like very specific to Australia that they're just buying out all the toilet paper. Like, you can't fucking buy toilet paper anywhere.
It's funny, man. Like people are buying
hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they haven't started stealing it from the office where I work because they have it all on these tables everywhere.
Mhm.
And I'm surprised like the cleaning ladies or something were ganking it. But they got that purple power, you know that. Real
Fabuloso.
Yeah. They're gonna be the only ones left. Wouldn't that be a funny comic book?
It would be if like custodial staff,
custodial maids.
I like it.
They're purple. Their Fabuloso is the only thing. Guys, what do you think about Corona? Do we have any Kung flu?
So I think that it's good that it's getting some attention because we should probably pay attention to it. But I think like a lot of people, I'm pretty exhausted by the 24-hour media cycle, like the news cycle. And
Are you?
Anytime there's something like this, it just, people are so eager in this day and age to be the first one to break news that it's so easy for people to spread misinformation because they're like, I heard this, so I'm going to be the first person to say it. And yeah, it's challenging to know what's true and what's not. And, you know, I feel bad. I feel empathy for people who might be living in China and are being taken to camps and are being, you know,
communism
treated.
is never cool.
So anyway, so that's
cool,
what I think about it.
It's never once been cool.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time you get some crazy shit like this happening. I mean, it's cool at first. You get like 50 years of chill, and then they're like, "Oh, you know what? Now I want to kill most of you."
Yeah, it's bad. All right.
What if it's like, what if this was Donald Trump's like master plan from the beginning? He's like, I told you I would make all manufacturing come back to fucking America, didn't I?
Yeah.
Didn't I?
That would be a good twist.
Goodbye to fucking China. Now who's dumb?
Now who's dumb?
Now who's dumb? All right, so that wraps up the talk on the Kung flu,
The Kung flu.
the China chill, the Asian contagion.
That's the best one yet.
I think it just sounds really neat.
It's a good. It is. I think it's a good alliteration.
It is, yeah. The Asian contagion. That's it. I think that's right. You know what? Let's not debate this right now, Justin.
Last call.
You're filing for bankruptcy. The lawyer said stop spending, cut up the credit cards, and he'll help you with the judge. It doesn't have to end yet, though. When it's closing time at the bar, they turn on the lights to tell you there's time for one more round. Let us turn on that light for you.
Last call.
Last Call is the app that makes sure you don't leave any of your hard-earned spending potential on the table. Sure, the gold card is no good anymore, but how about that gas card or that Macy's card? That boat they're going to repossess? Did someone say unexpected theft and or fire? And you'd be surprised how much we can get you for your identity. You don't need it. You're about to go bankrupt. Last Call can help you turn these opportunities into
Cash.
Don't be victimized by lost opportunity. Our team of Jewish lawyers are standing by to help you
Buy that last round.
because this closing time is going to last 7 to 10 years.
Last call.
This one's on the house, a Popco brand.
You know, Isaiah, some people pee in the shower. I am some people. I pee in the shower, but also
Everyone who's normal.
we think in the shower.
That's
I would argue that peeing in the shower is environmentally friendly. You already got the water running. Why flush the toilet and waste like 6 to 10 gallons? Just pee in the shower.
and I quote Mr. Costanza. It's all pipes. Because Jerry was pissed because he was peeing in the shower.
That's
He's
right.
getting mad. He's like, "What's the difference?" And then he throws his hands up and he's doing this motion. He goes, "It's all pipes." I love it.
But what we also do in the shower is think in the shower.
Tell us about some thoughts.
Yeah, so, you know, this is the segment that we're trying out, a little new segment I thought of, and it's called Shower Thoughts. And we just go over some of the top posts on the subreddit, our shower thoughts, and we also hope to hear from you guys. We hope to hear what your shower thoughts are.
Speaking of hoping to hear from you guys, actually, we got a message from Grant about the shower thinks, as well as Nelly. So I want to see what they had to say. I haven't actually read it. I just opened it. Jane's addiction, standing in the shower, thinking. He said theme song for shower thoughts. I think we could use that.
Yep.
I want to make sure I know who this is. Oh shit. This isn't ringing any bells.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect.
It is.
All right, man. Yeah, thanks, Grant.
Yeah. I think Jane Says was their super big hit that you might remember.
How'd that one go?
I'm not going to sing.
Jane Says, thinking in the shower.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know.
All their songs are about showers.
It's the same thing. And then he also followed up, in the Star Wars universe, I would think that everyone has to bring their own adapter from some sort of vacuum system that you can adjust pressure on that can remove waste of any type.
I'm so glad that we're talking about this because I brought it up to Joel. My friend Joel, his parents are lawyers, and he's a data analyst with me, but he is so intelligent and he thinks like a lawyer. You cannot ask him a question without him tilting his head to the side and going, it matters.
Right.
And then giving you 3 different perspectives. That's just how he is. So I asked him this question thinking that
sounds torturous.
It's really fun though. You know, he's really great. I like him a lot.
He lives on the fence.
I love the way he thinks. I like listening to him.
I want to meet him. We should get him on the show.
So he would love to do that. Like he has asked me.
I take it back.
Okay. He has asked me. So anyhow,
I would love for him to come on the show.
I posed this to Joel thinking like, oh, Joel's the perfect person for this. He's going to have all these different things.
What he said.
He goes, it's just one hole. He's like, regardless of how it comes, not our assholes, but the toilet. Right. He was like, it's just a hole. It doesn't matter the method by which it comes out. It's just a hole. And he's like, if anything, they would have some sort of adapter. It's basically what Grant said. And I was like, damn. That's so. And it was just as you're reading that from Grant, I was like, no way, man.
Yeah,
he's like,
the adapter.
He's like, that would have to be universal. Everybody else would have to adapt to it.
Yeah, you just plug it in and screw it in your little fucking. And then if you're traveling and you forget yours, you can buy it at the 7-Eleven. Fucking asshole adapter.
Right.
Dude, that is. And there's always going to be a higher quantity of one specific type of asshole adapter because that alien is notorious for losing their asshole adapters.
Their bowel movements are acidic, and it's just like we just burn through these things.
Yeah, every single one they got to buy it. Every time they have to buy a new one. I honestly can't figure out which email is yours. Hence, I stick to Instagram. Oh, here we go. This is from Road Soda Podcast. Oh, it's Road Soda Mail. She sent someone to roadsodapodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't think we have that. I think we just have Road Soda Mail.
Yeah.
I wonder if somebody else has Road Soda Podcast. That's how many emails have you sent to the other guys? What if at the end of it all, we find out Earth is just a zoo where all the other sentient beings of the universe are watching and toying with the beasts of the universe from afar, and we humans are no better than the other living things on this planet, all stuck here for entertainment purposes.
Dude, and you know there'd be gambling going on.
Of course there'd be gambling. It says, sorry, this one is more like I got stoned thought, and I totally get it if you skip it. I was totally high when I composed this email. Sometimes people get high when you shower.
I would leave the second part off. We should edit that last part off. Look, just throw her under the bus. But yeah, I think that that's super possible, you know?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you this. Very, very popular episode of South Park. Probably, I mean, they're on season like 16. I think it's season like 8 or something. Mm-hmm. It's when, because I don't know if you remember the very first handful of episodes, Cartman's getting abducted and he's got.
Oh yes,
he gets abducted a bunch. Yeah. Well, they finally come back like 8 seasons later, and they're like doing work on the antenna that's in his ass, and it turns out that the antenna in his ass broadcasts to a television station, and Earth is the #1 show in the universe.
Are you serious? I don't remember.
It's a reality show. Welcome to Earth.
Yeah.
And so these aliens, they go up to the aliens and they're trying to get them to turn it off. Be like, how could you why are we just a show? And like the Earth finds out, it goes to everyone's head, and then they cancel the show because now the show sucks because it's not a reality show anymore.
Yeah.
Because everyone's acting. And It's really funny. They have the what's it called? Like the network executives are these two aliens that are like clearly like Jew aliens. And
I actually do remember.
They're
parts
taking
of this.
they're taking the kids to like strip clubs and stuff, and then they're like, yeah, suck my Jagon, and the Jagon's like this little thing that comes off their shoulder. And they're like, yeah, now I'll suck your Jagon. I don't know. It was a very clever episode, but that is, who knows, man. That could totally be it. That's so there's your shower thoughts. What was your shower thought?
Oh, let's see. Did I have a shower thought?
Did
this
you bring
week?
one?
No, I thought I chose last time. I thought we were gonna alternate.
I thought I chose last time.
Oh, maybe you did. All right, I got one. Hold on.
Well,
Riff.
what if all the plants were really the smartest things on the planet, and then all the insects are the second smartest thing on the planet, and then it goes up all the way up to humans, so it's a reverse of what we think.
You might be onto something actually.
Nah, sounds dumb. What if potato is the number one food group?
Okay, first of all, potato is the number one food group. It's actually my favorite. Grilled potatoes, baked potatoes, fried potatoes, like home fries. Like
boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Yeah. Here's the reason why I like potatoes so much is because I absolutely love hot sauce. And most of the foods that I eat are actually just utensils by which I can eat more hot sauce because drinking it out of the bottle is not always appropriate. I love hot sauce. And I experiment. Like, I like to go to places and like challenge myself and order like the hottest wings you have. And I like to suffer and eat 10 of them. But overall, I actually just like a decent hot sauce.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and so anyways.
Like the flavors.
All right.
So what's a real shower thought? Because these are I'm not in a shower and I'm thinking of these, so they don't count.
This one's very good. You ready?
What it is?
After tea was discovered, a lot of people probably died trying to make similar drinks from leaves that turned out to be toxic. I wonder about this all the time. Who was the first person
to
realize
discover
you could
this stuff?
Eat this or smoke this or drink this? Like,
it's trial and error, baby.
It had to have been.
Do you think so?
I mean, like, it's funny to have this thought and forget the internet is there. I'm sure there are anthropologists and historians who know the origins of this.
First time, what they can do is they can find out the first time that it comes up in some kind of historical record, be it like an ingredient in something or like it's written down. But as far as that doesn't mean that's when it's discovered.
That would be a good thing to do with prisoners. I mean, hear me out.
Okay,
I'm saying back then. I'm not saying right now.
Why not?
But back then, if you think about how people were treated in like the class systems, it would make sense to be like, listen, you stole a loaf of bread. We can't let you get off with nothing.
Eat this twig.
Instead of sending you to jail, you have to let us do 10 food experiments on you.
10 food experiments.
And we're just going to drink and eat some stuff. We're
Food
see
experience, like what kind of food? I mean, I like food.
Yeah, I hear. So this is going to be stuff no one's ever eaten before. You're going to be the very first one.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. I'm glad to hear you say that.
Yeah.
Now,
I'll do that. I choose that one. I choose that one.
Okay. You don't want to hear the we got a whole pitch. We got to go over some stuff.
I want to choose that one. I want
All right,
to choose
that's great. So
feed me 10 things.
Yep. All right, so that's what we do.
Well, I honestly think it could be like how do animals that don't communicate know to eat certain plants? You know, I don't know if it's a trial and error. I think there's this level of communication with nature that like even if a koala never met its mother, it would still only eat eucalyptus. It just knows.
Yeah.
I think there's like this built-in thing. Like there's this thing that happens. And I want to wrap this one up really quick because we're running on this shower thought segment.
Yeah, man.
We are running on this shower thought. So there's stories of people, one in particular about this guy who spent almost like a year by himself out in the woods. And he just wanted to kind of like try to homestead by himself. And he said it got to the point where he would be doing something and then he'd go, I fucking need this plant, right? I need this fucking thing. And he would just stand up and he wasn't even thinking. Like he wasn't going, I'm going to go to the spot where I know it is. He would just start walking through the woods in a general direction and then that thing would be there. He'll go, there it is. Like it was just like he become like one with this environment. Like there was this communication on another level that's not, we're thinking only from a very materialistic, like, well, we got to fucking put it in some dude's butt and see him die first. And they go,
That's
oh,
right.
don't put that plant in your butt or you're going to die. But there might be something like when we were these more ape-like creatures with less communication, it was just like this known thing. Like it's almost like you didn't even have to think
Instincts,
about it.
Yeah.
So anyway, shower
thoughts.
that shit.
I'm Greg.
And I'm Isaiah.
This is a PSA for racial slur awareness.
We want to take a moment to educate everyone about racial slurs.
But not your run-of-the-mill racial slurs, everyday things you say that you may not know are offensive.
Be careful when saying words like yellow bone,
Which is a light-skinned black person.
hunk, or hunky.
An Eastern European middle-class worker.
And if you have a friend named Charlie, you need to tell him his name is horribly offensive to the Vietnamese.
Coconut, apple, banana.
Used to describe people of different ethnicities who act white. Color on the outside, white on the inside. Very offensive.
Clog jockey, disco jockey, scotch jockey, jerky jockey, horse jockey.
Any word combined with jockey. Racist. Don't say it.
Now that you're armed with this information, you are sure to not offend anyone.
From the guys at Road Soda, thank you.
Millennial Book Club. Millennial Book Club.
Mood blanket cartography. It's all the rage. Mostly in Venezuela.
Yeah, it's been really popular lately there. I was just there. I was just there in February, and they were all doing a mood blanket cartography.
All
At
right.
these like ayahuasca camps.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I think it's a bunch of bullshit, personally.
I didn't partake.
Hey, man, you know
I just
what?
said partake. It's partake.
You could have fooled me.
I ain't partake.
Partake, you know what? That's something. I don't. There's a slurry of words that I say like an idiot, and I don't know until spell check, until I try to type them out.
Yep.
I go, wow, I've been saying that real dumb. This is the Millennial Book Club, everybody. This is the segment where we're just fucking watching Netflix. How about that?
Yeah.
Only Netflix originals as well. And this week we were watching Altered Carbon. It's actually been around for a minute.
Right, but season 2 has like just released.
Yes, it absolutely has just released. So, but when we watched it, we just watched episode 1. But this is what we were gonna talk about this last week, but we didn't. I wanted to save it. I wanted to save it so that we both could talk about it. It is. I'm not gonna say that I want to run back and watch it. But that's not to say that I didn't think it was like I was really blown away by a lot of parts of it. I thought much less of it before I watched it.
I did too. Yeah,
Yeah?
that was my same exact experience.
Okay.
Before I watched it, for some reason, I went in with this really strong bias that it was going to be dumb.
Yeah.
And I'm not entirely sure what gave me that idea. Maybe it was
Maybe it's the dumb name. Like
Right. It could be the name. It could
the
have
try
been
hard name. You trying?
Right, or the image, like
Yeah,
that I kept
yeah.
seeing for the thumbnail on Netflix. But yeah, sorry, you wanted to read.
No, I mean no. That you're good, dude. That is like it's very right. It's like they were trying. It was like somebody else was. Like they were trying to draw on the wrong person, maybe.
It was like someone in high school. I got the vibe, which has since changed, but it was like someone in high school who was super into the Matrix and was like, "What do you mean I can't wear my trench coat? I don't care about school shootings.
right.
It's a lifestyle."
It's a lifestyle.
And that's the person who wrote it.
And who when just looking at it.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
like,
that
that's
is
who
the
wrote
vibe.
it. Yeah.
That is the vibe.
Which has since changed because it was actually
is,
it was an interesting show.
It was kind of like I felt the same way about it. The Umbrella Academy. It's very imaginative. Like I don't think it's like a new thing being able to download consciousness. So that's here. I'll read what it says.
Yeah. What's the premise here?
The premise, what it says is more than 300 years in the future, society has been transformed by new technology. Oh, wow, really? Leading to human bodies being interchangeable and death no longer being permanent. And this is Well, let's see. Where is this coming from? I think it's like this is definitely not the blurb on Netflix. It's just the Google blurb about it.
Well, I got to tell you that with that concept in mind, I really hope we have like a rule because overpopulation is a really big deal.
Yeah.
So I guess the benefit is that you can send 5 bodies on a space mission that would take 5 lifetimes. Like, let's just say we can't freeze people.
Yeah.
And you could keep swapping consciousness, and then we could get further in space.
Oh, wow.
Unless we...
That's much smarter than when I was doing what I thought about.
Unless we develop, like in the Alien movies, or a lot of space movies where they can like go to sleep. Anyways, I hope they deal with overpopulation because that would be a huge issue if no one could die.
I didn't watch enough to say that they do or don't. It's funny because that's like what happened with The Witcher. Is like I was like, well, that kind of stinks. Like making fun of the universe because there was like a blind spot, and then you're like, well, actually, in the 3rd episode, that's kind of answered.
Yeah,
but, so they might answer it. I don't know.
They might. Yeah, a lot of people have been doing that. Kind of like it reminds me of the movie Pulp Fiction. I think only because that's the first time when I was a kid. Like the first half hour of that movie, I had no idea what was going on. You know, I was pretty young when that movie came out, and I watched it way before I was probably supposed to. Anyhow, the storytelling is out of order, right? They show you bits and pieces of multiple stories happening, things that happened in the past, things that happen in the future. So, yeah, I think Altered Carbon is doing that as well. They're doing that as well with like this parallel storytelling.
Yeah, they're telling you a couple different things that is going on, and it's I don't think it's I don't know. It's smart. It's sorry, man. You usually I'm able to. Sorry. Yeah, even Dracula was doing that kind of. Actually, no, Dracula was different. It was like telling you way back ago, and then it kind of like caught up and then continued from where it was.
Right. Yeah,
that's kind of crazy. It's I don't know, man, but the I feel like they've done something similar, or the thoughts have been similar. It's like to being able to download consciousness. I just like how the idea of it's like this little disc, and you're not necessarily permanent. And then also the way they have it structured by like money and power. They're like, so the people that are really fucking rich get to survive for hundreds of years. Like this, you meet one of the main characters, like this super rich dude, and he's been alive for like 400 years because every time he dies, they just clone his identical body and then put him in a new body. So he just stays like 30 forever. Right? Oh shit.
Yeah. And, yeah, I didn't realize he was like they cloned him as well as.
Well, that's what. Yeah, so they clone him. There's a way you can have 2 people, or you can have 2 bodies for yourself. But it can like they mention it briefly, and I'm sure that's going to be like a plot device for later on. Like someone's going to die, but then you're going to see him again because there was actually 2 of them at once. But yeah, so that's what these rich people are doing.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out is that are there 2 chips that are identical, or is it 2 bodies that are identical?
It could be both.
Yeah. And what are some of the terminologies? What did they call the vessels? It started with an S.
Sleeve.
Yes.
Sleeves.
Yeah.
It's so like, they really narrowed in on the vernacular to make it like a toss away. Like,
yeah,
they don't want we're not attached. They're fucking sleeves. We just use them and toss them. Like that's what they're trying to capture with it. It was really clever. Like, cause the main, or not the main, like the storyline is that this guy wants his murder solved. He was murdered, right? I was murdered, and he doesn't know who it was, and he should have been dead because his, I can't remember. They're like these little chips. That's like a hockey puck that sits in the base of the neck.
Right, and that's the only way to actually kill you. Like,
is to blast that.
Yeah.
Thing. So
well, to be fair, you can kill the sleeve.
Yeah,
but that's the only way,
like
right?
So that thing was blasted. He died, but apparently he's so rich, he has all his memories and his consciousness beamed up to a satellite every 48 hours. And so even if that,
oh my god, his consciousness is in the cloud storage.
It's and
how
but you have to be
is
super
that?
rich. And so even if he dies, at worst, he loses 2 days. And because the person killed him right at like the 47th hour, he doesn't remember who killed him. So that's why he's hired this like super soldier X guy to like solve his murder, right?
Right.
It's really, I mean, that's pretty much the, I'm not really spoiling much. I mean, that's the first episode. But I think it's, I put the second one on. I just let it play. I wasn't really watching, but it's definitely something I'll watch again. If you're into that kind of thing, like a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of gun, great storytelling, I would say must watch. But at the same time, for most people, just if it's there, if someone's like, you want to check this shit out, check it out.
I really enjoyed the combat. Like they showed some really cool like grappling style takedowns and stuff. And even whenever they go to wake the guy up and they can't pull his like throat tube out, after he pulls it out himself, he puts the guy in a very, very common jiu-jitsu maneuver, right? Where like you have your knee on belly position. So you're pinning someone's on their back and you're pinning their kind of like from their stomach to their sternum with your shin.
Right.
And then you, with your arm that's closest to their head, you grab their shoulder and you drive your elbow to the floor. So that would, you do that over their throat. So it would keep their head turned the wrong direction so they can't turn towards you. And that limits the spine's mobility. So that weakens them. And then you have your knee on their stomach, which is also every time they take a breath out, it's making it harder for them to breathe in. It's almost like an anaconda. And that's what the guy did whenever they were trying to wake him up and he reacted. And I was like, oh man, he did that really well.
He did it well.
That was cool. So I always like seeing things that have a little more realistic fighting. I don't get me wrong. Like I watch Ip Man 1,000 times. I love crazy kung fu movies, but
it's exciting when there's a little like realism.
Yeah.
It's exciting because you're like, maybe it could happen. Maybe,
Yeah. And even though he is like an apex human, right? Like military grade.
That is their what they're going for.
Yeah,
of course, he's white.
Yeah.
Whereas as when it started, he's like an Asian guy, and my first thought was, oh my god, is there going to be an Asian main character,
like an Asian lead?
I was like,
right?
Bold move, Netflix. 10 minutes later, he's fucking dead. He's a tall white guy.
Yeah, and it's funny too because it's like, why couldn't they? Actually, this is really interesting, Isaiah. Why couldn't they have reversed it?
Because
why couldn't he have been white and then died and then been the Asian?
Dumb question.
You know what it reminds me of is in Master of None, the Aziz Ansari from Netflix, which I don't know if you've ever done that for the NBC, but it's like
Aziz Ansari, or no, what's it called?
Masters of None.
Masters of None. That's like his.
Yeah, his kind of Louis, right? Yeah. And he has a show, or he has an episode in that show where he's going out for a part and this other guy's going out for a part. It's his friend and they're both Indian and they both get the part, or like they're both kind of finalists, something along those lines. The point is it comes down to that they won't let both of them be on the show. And they were like, why? And they said, well, because then it's an Indian cop show. It's not a cop show anymore. It's an Indian cop show. And I thought, man, that's...
True.
Yeah, but I never, I never. That sucks. What a shitty experience,
That's just the perception, man, and it's so much of like chicken or the egg.
Okay, listen. I just want to say real quick, if you guys on the mics, they shouldn't pick it up. But if you hear anything weird, my cat Alira, she's a Bengal.
Sounds like she's
I didn't buy a
bro.
Bengal first off. Okay, like I went to the animal shelter and I just got this cat. And she had some really weird behavior and like her markings are really weird. And so it turns out that she's a Bengal and they're pretty wild. She's very active. This cat is 11 years old.
Cat, man.
Yeah, she looks like a panther really, and or a jaguar. And anyway, she's running around screaming. And this is not really interesting for podcast listeners, but I just,
I mean, we hear loud and proud.
And it's that really guttural, like
she's looking for dick,
wild.
Bro.
She's looking for dick.
Looking for
LFD, baby, LFD. Anyhow, if you hear any weird noises, I don't apologize because they're super cool. Deal with it, podcast.
I want to mention real quick about anybody that buys a cat is a dumb idiot, dude. You just put some cat food outside for 10 minutes and get a free cat.
There'll be a cat, yeah. Get a free cat.
Why would you even go down and buy one? What a racket.
Or plant catnip. The whole stray cat neighborhood will be all in your backyard.
Yeah, but you
chilling.
don't want those junky cats.
Yeah, I do. I like them.
All right. Trying to get that.
But anyways, okay, so for me, I'd also say watch it if it's there. I think this is going to be a show. I watched the first episode alone. I'm going to try to watch it with Mandy. And if she likes it, I think this might go in like the Rolodex. And so, for me, when I'm alone, I make music or I play video games. And when Mandy's alone, like, she paints sometimes or she like will watch the shows she wants to watch.
Yeah.
So it's when we come together, we try to find shows that are in the Rolodex that we both have a common interest in. And so if I don't like it and she does, it's like, yeah, watch that on your own, vice versa.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Cue is because it's I like watching things with people. It's like,
yeah, because it gives us stuff to talk about, you know, like, you know, we
experience.
Yeah, we get to watch shows together and discuss them, what we liked and what we didn't like, you know. And that's why actually it's funny because I wasn't sure how I was going to feel when she first started training jiu-jitsu with me, because in a lot of ways that was kind of like my escape from the world. Yeah. But it's been great. She's been training 3 years now with me.
That's so fun.
And it's pretty fun to like go out to breakfast with my wife and talk about like jiu-jitsu stuff, you know, like planning.
That is. And there's a common interest. Like it's obviously once you do it for 3 years, that's it. It's a party.
Yeah, you're a lifer.
She's a lifer. Yep.
So watch it if it's there.
Watch it if it's there. I think that's solid in there, and I think you know who you are if it's something you probably already watched. Honestly,
if you like The Matrix, you'll probably
dig this shit.
Get a chance to dig this. I'd say
that's a really good. So the next week, what we're going to watch is we're going to watch The Goo Lab,
which I thought it was called The Goop Factory.
I think it's the same shit.
So I'm excited to watch this. Mainly because there was a lot of controversy on Reddit about it about 2 weeks ago, and this is not something I would normally be interested in, but I'm excited to watch it. Yeah,
because I was looking. I've been perusing a little more about. About the Reddit.
Yeah,
maybe it was just one day that I didn't, because that's all it takes is if you don't watch it for one day, everything's cycled through.
Yep.
So I want to read it. Leading with curiosity, Gwyneth Paltrow and her group team look at psychedelics, energy work, and other challenging wellness topics. Well, here we go.
Yep.
Is this really what I want to do? Because I wanted to watch something super like reality TV show, and I clicked reality.
Yeah,
TV,
you wanted to watch like junk.
Goop Factor. I want to watch like. I even suggested Queer Eye for the straight guy.
All right, next week we'll do Queer Eye.
Let's actually do it.
We'll do Queer Eye next week. Hey, have you ever done Master of None on the Millennial Book Club? I don't think you have.
I don't think so.
All right, yeah, I've got to. We got to do that.
We can toss it in the queue.
Yeah, we'll toss it in the NBC Rolodex.
Everything will eventually be gotten to. I mean, there's no.
You know, this is a call to action to the people. You tell us what you're interested in. What do you want to watch? Do you want to watch? You know.
Sorry, do you not like our choice?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to shoot out in the dark because this is not something I would pick up on my own.
It's going to be really fun, Isaiah. It's going to be really good for conversation. I'm excited for next week.
That's all that really matters. And if you want to write into the show, you can, like Justin just mentioned, and tell us what you want to watch, or maybe tell us what you think about what we have watched. And that's roadsodamail@gmail.com. And you can also call. You can also call into the show and leave a voicemail. It's 706-200-1213. That is our phone number. And thank you very much.
Well,
that was it, man. There was that was the best sounding one that we've ever done.
Went down nice and smooth.
Went down too smooth.
As always.
Now what's the next one going to sound like? It's scary to me.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. What
you guys hopefully will find out by listening again. All right, so what's up?
I asked you what you learned because I got scared that you might ask me first.
I learned that my music career has not really taken off yet because I have not taken advantage of worldwide viral news. I haven't made a coronavirus song or like a "Hey You Killed Osama" song.
Yeah,
you know, I didn't make a French Revolution song. Like all the things that have been going on recently.
Right.
So I think that's pretty much what's happening here. So,
I think, and you know what? It's never too late. You can always capitalize on the next horrible thing. You know what I learned? That you have a deep, deep, diabolical past.
Yeah.
Where, as a 19-year-old, you're basically an evil genius.
Yeah.
that was just destroying relationships. And
It was terrible, man. I really feel badly about it. Insofar as I almost didn't want to tell the story because I didn't want people to listening to like judge me or like maybe they don't, they would associate your podcast with something shitty. But like, honestly,
don't even.
I mean, we all grow, we all make mistakes. I definitely recognize why it was wrong. I'm not bragging that I did it. It is funny. The situation is funny.
It is funny.
But
anybody
my dog is like playing the drums right now. By the way, guys, we forgot to mention in the intro, it's actually 3 guests today. Isaiah joined with Justin Mitchell, his sometimes co-host, and also my dog Willow. She's been chilling all the time. And honestly, she's been great. She hasn't caused any trouble.
Don't start fucking it up now, dog.
But now she's trying to play my drum kit, so there we go. All right.
Well, man, this has been it. That was a great one, and I hope to catch everybody next week. Don't forget your assignments. In the Millennial Book Club, you're going to be watching the Gulag. I think it's the Gulag, right? I wrote it down.
The Goop Factory.
The Goop Factory. That's what you thought it was. No, it is the Gulag. It sounds too much like the Gulag. Anyway, and that's going to be in the Millennial Book Club and in the arcade. We're playing Prancy Princess Pony. I forgot the name of that one, actually.
Something about something castle.
You're right. I think it is Fancy Prancy Christmas Castle.
Yep.
Pantsy Prancy Castle on the 17 Dwarf Helping Hands. Crossy Road Castle is the name of the thing. Everybody, thank you for listening. We'll catch you next week. And but wait, go to bed early.